Keep it going until he gets to the mic for Spydey.
Reminds me of that when he changes your cover for you. Not the easiest date I've ever had, I'm not going to lie. How are we all doing this evening, everybody? Are we all good? Are we all feeling well? Yeah! Good, because if you're not, go home. There's a fucking pandemic on the cunt. So I'm going to be the first one to drop the C-bomb on stage, it turns out. Actually, I've got a little bit of story about that growing up. It turns out I do swear quite a lot, so I do apologise if you don't like bad language. I work in a heavy metal bar, so for me the word cunt is basically punctuation. Like, I don't really feel like I'm swearing, but my parents noticed this. I've had 4 double vodkas to take care of the nerves. Smashing this already. But, yeah, my parents noticed when I was younger that I used to swear quite a lot, so they started up like a swear jar for us. Now look, we're going to try and control how you speak, okay? So if mummy and daddy say a bad word, we're going to put a pound in this jar. And if you say a bad word, we're going to take 10p out of your pocket money. They won't give me pocket money, but fuck them. And we're going to put that in the jar, and then maybe we'll do something nice when the jar's all filled up, and maybe mummy and daddy will try and go on holiday, or we'll go do something like that. We'll take you with us, we'll have a nice family time. Would that be good for you? And I thought, this is absolutely brilliant. So I set fire to the cat, fucked my sister, we were at Disneyland by Saturday. I feel that sets my level pretty well. If you didn't like that joke, it is not getting better from here on. So I suppose I'll probably tell you a little bit about myself. Hello, my name is Spydey. I actually used to work under this wonderful here roof. Do we have anyone else here who works in hospitality, apart from the obvious Christmas party guys? Anyone else who works in hospitality? Yes, I've definitely served you before. We can recognise that pain behind each other's eyes. You get to meet some lovely people when you're working in pubs. Like when I was working here, I used to get to meet up with this regular all the time called Ben, who was renowned for having very tiny hands. And that was just the thing we used to take the piss out of him for. Obviously, you've always got one of the things that you take the piss out of your regulars for. But him, it was small hands. And he was helping a guy called Ed help another bunch of our friends move house one day. And they just apparently ended up arguing all day long. And he came storming into the pub, like throwing the F's and B words all over the place. Oh God, fucking bastard, I'm gonna kill the son of a bitch, blah blah blah, I can't believe he's such a wanker, I'm gonna kill him. I was like, no, Ben, he was driving his van today, right? He's like, well, yeah. I was like, well, look at it this way, dude. The size of your hands, climb in the back, leave prints everywhere, tell everyone he's a nonce, they'll do it for you. So I was actually quite worried I wasn't going to make it here this week. I had to have a COVID test this week, so fuck you, Ricky. My gag reflex is great. My number's on the toilet wall, by the way, if anybody wants. Yeah, I had to have a COVID test because I wasn't sure I was going to make it down. I'm not going to talk any more about COVID, really, because I think we all know what's going on with that, and we don't need to talk about it. And the other thing I'm going to avoid talking about this evening is politics. Because, I mean, I don't really know enough about politics. Until all this shit started happening, there was nothing better to do than follow Donald Trump on Twitter for shigs, to be honest. Shigs is my abbreviation of shits and giggles, by the way, so if I say shigs, that's what I'm on about. But when all this shit kicked off, I used to know 2 things about Donald Trump. It's like, one, we both want to fuck his daughter. And secondly, he's got to be the biggest ball enthusiast since Princess Diana's driver. Oh, that went down way better than expected. Much like her head on the dashboard. Take 2 balls into the shower, not me, kill my princess and go! Oh God, where do we go from there? So, as I'm sure many of you will be surprised, I'm currently single. I had to go through a breakup during lockdown, and a breakdown as well, but that's another punchline for later. Yeah, I had to go through a breakup during lockdown. Anyone else here go through a breakup during lockdown? Hey, I feel your pain. No, sorry, we'll drink and cry together later, it'll be beautiful. So yeah, but when you go through something like that, it really makes you try and reevaluate how you deal with that sort of situation. Because like normal days, what would you do? You get broken up with, you go, well, I'm going to cry about it for 3 days in my underwear, eat a tub of Ben and Jerry's, and I'm going to go out. I'm going to go to the nearest bar and grab hold of the nearest thing that will say yes once I can't fill with enough shots. You can't do that during the lockdown. Like, you're not allowed out. It's like, hi, can I give you a friendly elbow? Like, Are you into stomp fucking? That could really help me right about now. No? Okay, so then you break out the chat-up lines. I mean, I've never been any good with these. I mean, what are the classics these days? Hey baby, roses are red, violets are blue, I've got a knife, get in the van. Yeah. Hey, are you at school? Because I'm going to shoot some kids inside of you. Why are you walking away? Why is the man in the green armband coming this way? I'll show myself out, shall I? And obviously, I've got this whole thing, which you can probably tell from looking at me. I don't exactly dress in what you call the most conventional fashion. I had to take my waistcoat off. I got all dressed up for Christmas, but then, they turned the heating on tonight. Apparently, they're doing better this week than they were last week. So I was sweltering. But I was trying to make an effort for Christmas, I've got to check my notes really quickly. I can't remember which fucking joke I'm going with next. Oh Lord, not that one. Fuck it, I know most of you cunts anyway. So generally when people look at me, they tend to assume if I walk into a bar or restaurant, then I need one of two things. Either a vegan menu, fuck right off, or a full body cavity search. Which, I don't know. With my good old friend Glenn over here, we actually did a trip to Amsterdam a couple of years ago, and it turns out this is not the best look you've ever seen trying to get through customs. Yeah. So I've never seen like a bored security guard light up faster than I was walking towards that metal gate. Like, oh, promotion day! Look at him, I'll just walk this fucking way, shall I? I had the last laugh, my friends, because I knew what I was doing in Amsterdam. And so when I pulled out the rubber glove, smiled at him and went, your move, sweetheart. I've never seen anyone move faster. Off you fuck. Thank you very much. But I was saying, as you guys say, going through a breakup during lockdown really makes you really evaluate certain relationships you've had. And I don't necessarily mean romantic relationships. I mean, people you just meet in general. As I said, I've already spoken about my friend Tiny Hand, Pedo Hand Ben. People like that, for example, like the woman I used to go and see every morning on my way to work, who would basically at this point in her corner shop, she would just hand me the can of Red Bull and say, this one's on me, darling. Thanks for the 3 bottles of red wine, a large packet of silver skins you took home last night, and fuck me, how many Doritos can you get through? But it depends on who's picking up when I'm calling. She was great. She always used to look after me well. And because I work in a late night heavy metal bar, there was always a postman I would walk past on the way home. We never actually spoke. We'd always give each other that little nodding salute over the street because apparently we both seen, Return of the Jedi too many times. And no one knows why Luke Skywalker does that or why people copy it, but they always do. Sorry, I'm still on a really big Mandalorian high at the moment. Anyone watching Mandalorian at the moment? No? Brilliant. Right, fuck Disney. Right, yeah. And then I found out quite recently that the guy used to live next door to me when I was a kid. He was really, really into Halloween. He used to fucking love that shit. So I always thought, maybe a bit of a weird, a bit of a pagan guy, maybe. No, he liked Halloween because that was the day when the children came and knocked on his door. God, I hope it's a trick. Now, when I thought about this a few years later, the only thing I could really think to myself was, a guy like that living next door to me when I was younger, that's horrible. That makes me feel ugly. He never laid a hand on me. Skipping through his garden in a fucking negligee. Nothing. It turned out he ended up moving over to America because he found out the kids over there were more attractive. It just didn't ever occur to him they meant more like a magnet, which is why they catch so many bullets. Ooh. Sorry, this joke's going to get worse before it gets better, right? The fact he was found dead in the bush on the side of the latest school shooting was just icing on the fucking cake, by the way. Sorry, I need a quick sip of beer, huh?
Don't drink the sanitizer.
Fool me once, shame on you. Oh, Jesus. Where are we at with this? No, that's not a good idea either. So we were talking about the whole COVID testing earlier. I said I wasn't going to bang on about it, but I went into the first lockdown in a slightly strange situation of having, I had kidney stones at the time. I also had got my first really bad case of hemorrhoids at the same time as well, so that was an experience for me. Anyone here ever had to shove something up their arse on their own rather than for the sake of somebody else? No? Anyone? I finally started to understand those tampon instruction things I've been wanking off to in my mum's bathroom. First couple of times, I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit awkward because they're made in this shape that once it's in, it's like, oh shit, yeah, that's it, isn't it? Whoa! We've broken the seal there, ladies and gents. And the first few times you do it, it feels a little bit awkward. But, you know, it's a 3-week course of tablets, so by the end of it, I'm pouring myself a glass of wine, I'm running a bath, I'm putting on some Barry White in the background. You know the guys do your I treated myself like a proper princess. Oh, I locked myself in the way of the tower and tried to strengthen our relationship with France by marrying myself to their first prince. Did not work. So we're back to the whole relationship thing now. So again, trying to meet somebody new, fucking awkward. We've established. I'm not exactly good with chat-up lines. Literally, I'm looking around the room, no one in here wants to fuck me. I am killing it. That's okay. But when you do finally meet that someone, you make the one joke that works and you end up getting on, you have those few drinks. And you end up going back to either hers or yours or, you know, the things happen. And you have that awkward drunken sex and like you're both lying there moaning afterwards going, no, honestly, no, it's the best I've had in the last hour. Thank you so much for being here. Please leave your ticket stub receipt on the way out and I'll swing to you for the raffle prize afterwards. And she's there moaning about her headache. Oh God, I'm going to feel horrendous tomorrow. And I'm just thinking, honey, you're not waking up tomorrow.
Oh my God!
So pretty when you're quiet. Oh, bollocks. So anyway, not available for family parties in case you're wondering. See, would anyone like to hear the worst joke I've ever heard in terms of nasty? Probably a lot of my offensive humour. How bad can we go tonight?
Very.
Would you like to hear the nastiest joke I know?
Yes.
What did the paedophile say to the paediatrician? Yeah, can I get a new one, please? This is full. Big lost profits, man, just saying. Okay, now. Back on the relationships thing. Living with a girlfriend is a really weird experience for guys. I'm a massive gamer. I love my video games. Like most of my hobbies involve being on my own. Including the one that generally means I don't need to have a girlfriend because I've never heard a complaint from a hand and it asked me to make him a sandwich afterwards. Like, you know, so I think I could have just stuck with the whole girlfriend thing. I completely lost my train of thought halfway through that, by the way. Fuck it, questions. Ricky, what are you drinking? Something. Well, I'd like to thank you for your ever-loving support. Thank you very much for coming back in on this one with me.
Grapefruit pale ale.
Are you sure about that shirt? Jesus fucking Christ. Where else are we going with this? Oh yeah, so living with people. Living with a missus is a very different experience than living on your own. I've basically established when you live on your own, all you've got to do is pretty much fuck all, I was going to say. Like, end of the day, you wake up on time, you go to work, try not to shit the bed. That's basically job done, right? Like, that's it. You're a fully functioning adult. You can do, I apparently paid taxes or some shit, but I can do that too. That's absolutely fine. Living with, like, a communal house, that's quite nice. Because if you live in a good communal house, you're all looking after each other, you'll get on very well, you can all, like, shout at each other and argue over Christmas dinner. It's just like being at home for Christmas. It's fantastic. But living with just one guy, I had an experience, if you've seen me perform before, by the way, you're probably going to be familiar with this story, but I'm going to tell it again, because I fucking love this shit. I recently chatted to the guy involved in it a couple of weeks ago. I really fucking miss this dude. I used to live with a guy called Drew, and living with him was entertaining. Now, I've worked hospitality now for around about 20 years. I've worked bars for about 20 years, I've worked kitchens for about 14 of them, which means I like to think I have at least 2 alcoholic stereotypes to live up to. And I think we can all agree I am fucking killing it. But one day, this guy's the only guy I know who can absolutely outdrink me every single time. He came home one day from work. We used to work at the same place, working at a bowling alley over in Branksome at the time. And he comes home one day and he just throws a bottle of Southern Comfort at me. It lands next to me on the sofa. He looks me dead in the eye and goes, "Brace yourself." I'm like, well, it's not the most welcoming invite I've ever had to a night out. What's going to happen here, Drew? Pulled a PlayStation game out of his pocket and goes, "We're playing drinking games for this until the night's over." Which I'm like, "Thank fuck, arsehole, unclench, you're all fine." And we got through a litre and a half bottle of Southern Comfort playing this game for what was described as a record amount of time, a heroic amount of time, if you're two of us, 83 minutes. Was playing video games, absolutely shit-faced, and stuff started to get a little bit bolshy. We started to have a little bit of a go at each other. We start arguing who's player one, who's player two, what game are we playing, what's the hole in the disc actually for, put it back in there, that's not how you blow on that, for fuck's sake, it's not a cartridge, put it away, oh no, God! And then stuff starts to get a little bit heated. And he turns around and he's like, "Do you know what, mate, I've had enough of your shit. You carry this on, I'm going to shag your sister." Right, for reference, we were playing an ice hockey game, so I'm really not sure how he made the mental leap on that one. Except if you've ever met my sister, she does like quite big burly guys with knives on their feet, sticks in the hands, the old knock about the head and face up against glass. But that's her issue, not mine. If my mum ever sees this, I'm fucked. So he says this, and I'm like, "No, you can't fuck at my sister." It's like, "Why not?" I mean, let's ask her out, I don't know. So we carry on drinking the rest of the bottle, we're all done, and then we have what I would describe as my one and only ever friendly punch-up I've ever had with a mate. I'm not the sort of guy who likes to be the man who looks like a fucking go for it. But he was, threatening my sister's honour, and I've always promised her that if I could ever find it, I would defend it. So I stand up like the big brother that I am. It's ironic, she's probably a foot taller and 3 feet wider than me these days. But I stand up and go, "No, this is not what you said about my sister. My good sir, I defend her honour." And we have this lovely playful punch-up, which involves me and him getting a little bit carried away, me waking up the next day covered in blood with a half-broken nose, him with his face split wide open, bleeding all over the floor, and neither one of us knowing what the fuck's going on. Until I remember exactly what he said, or he's got these words like, "Drew wants to fuck your sister." And the hungover part of me is like, "Fucking let him, he deserves it." And then the honourable part of my brain kicks in and goes, "But you did say you'd look after us." Son of a bitch. Okay. And then I remember that 2 weeks before this, we're talking a good few years back, and I'd just been to France a couple of weeks before this incident, back in Yonday, and you could still buy French bangers. Now, does anyone know what a French banger is?
Yep.
Yeah? It's a stick of dynamite about this big you sell kids. It's fucking brilliant. And you buy reams of them. I've got a whole packet of these, stored away in my bag at home. Well, I do know his alarm clock's broken, so technically I'll be doing him a favour. So I think it'd be hilarious to wake him up with a French banger on his pillow. So I light the fuse, and I know through countless months of research, these things got about a 5-second fuse on them, yeah? You light it, you count to 5, you throw it away. Oh yeah, Mississippi's, by the way, none of that Ross bullshit with a fucking spray tan crap. Sorry, I got forced to watch some Friends recently. So yeah, count to 5, throw the fuse in, and I'm behind the door like a manic Wile E. Coyote, like 1 Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3, Mississippi 4, Mississippi 5, Mississippi 6, Mississippi 7, Mississippi 8, Mississippi... Fuck. Something has gone wrong here. So I open the door, and after a second's countdown, I've noticed the fuse has detached itself from the small explosive part of the device, landed on his pillow, and set it on fire. Ah, shit. Now, I've never been Irish dancing in my life, but this guy basically wakes up to me doing a fucking river dance next to him on the pillow. Wakes up, looks at me, "Dude, what the fuck's going on?" "Your bed's on fire." "Why the fuck's my bed on fire?" "Because you said you wanted to shag my sister." Apparently not the excuse he was looking for. Oh, God. So I help him put the fire out, I put the kettle on for him to make a cup of coffee, I dispose of the explosive bit, and I go to work. Now again, we're both working in a bowling alley at this point. His shift starts about an hour and a half after mine. By the way, ever been to a bowling alley? Should have been. The advertising is the easiest in the world. Want to have a fun night out? Stick 3 fingers in something and then throw it away and have a beer. It literally writes itself. What the fuck? So anyway, he shows up about an hour and a half after me. I'm still there trying to plug the nosebleed, deal with all the bar stuff, dealing with my hangover by basically drinking while I'm working. Now this is back in the days when you could still smoke in pubs. Now, do you guys remember those big fucking glass ashtrays that used to have, like the real big ones, yeah? So he walks in and does probably the best impression I've ever seen of Captain America in my life. Grabs one of these things, just straight across the pub. I luckily duck it, smashes a couple of bottles and a glass behind me. I stand up, dude, what the fuck? I'm confused. As far as I know, the night has gone like this. We've had a fight, we've woken up, I'm hungover, he's hungover, I've set fire to his bed, I've dealt with it, he hasn't fucked my sister, everything's okay, right? As it turns out, no. As I get this look from him, as he looks me dead in the eye, I'm like, Lee, where do we leave small explosive devices? Do we leave them in the ashtray where we put our sticks of fire while we are smoking? Ah, fuck. So his morning was basically topped off by him having a cigarette, making himself a cup of coffee. He had one of these lovely ashtrays on his lap at home. Tick, 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 boom! I'm going to really miss Drew. And he misses his thumbs. And hitchhiking. I'm almost done. I've got one more gag for you guys and then I'm going to go. I would like obviously to say thank you for Horsemen for putting this event on tonight. And obviously Glenn for hosting it. We'll get another round of applause for Glenn. And it's nice to see a place that doesn't overdo it with the fucking decorations. Like it's festive enough down here, but they've managed to keep their their vibe going. Like you walk into a Weatherspoons right now, and it literally looks like a fucking member of ISIS is detonated inside Santa's grotto. Grotto. I don't know. I'm not that kind of elf. Fuck. He's scraping the celebrations off the wall. He was a good man in his time. So I'm going to end by telling you my absolutely favourite joke of all time. I would say stop me if you heard this one, but if you do, I've got no material left. So please speak now or forever hold your peace. So little Jimmy walks into Mummy and Daddy's bedroom one day, and little Jimmy sees little Jimmy's daddy on top of little Jimmy's mummy doing something that little Jimmy doesn't quite understand. So understandably, little Jimmy gets a little bit upset at little Jimmy daddy doing exactly what it is he's doing to little Jimmy's mum, and it makes him so upset in the first place. So little Jimmy's daddy wakes up, turns around, looks at little Jimmy and goes, you know what, son, go wait in the other room. He's quite entertained by the whole thing, but understandably he needs to know he's got to go and deal with little Jimmy a little bit later on. So once little Jimmy's daddy is done doing what it was he was doing with little Jimmy's mummy in the first place, it upset little Jimmy in the first place, so quite so much, he goes to find little Jimmy's bedroom to find that little Jimmy is no longer waiting there for him. There's a note on the pillow saying, gone to grandma. So little Jimmy, little Jimmy's daddy, understandably, a little bit confused, looking for little Jimmy, goes round to little Jimmy's grandma's place to find little Jimmy on top of little Jimmy's grandma, doing exactly what it was that little Jimmy's daddy was doing with little Jimmy's mum in the first place. Upset her so much that little Jimmy turns around, looks him dead in the eye and says, you see, it's not so fucking funny when it's your mum, is it? Alright, so, ladies and gents, I would like to leave you.
Let's hear it one more time for Spidey.